New Type Rising is finally out, and after the first week of testing, the deck that's been standing out the most is Freedom Blockers. There are a couple ways to build this deck: your bread and butter pure version, the unicorn version, and an aerial variant. So why is this deck called Freedom Blockers? This is a blue-white control deck built to slow the game down with a wall of blockers, then win through incremental advantage and the endgame of Freedom Gundam. Freedom isn't just a big body, it's probably the best unit of the game right now. It trades up, absorbs pressure, and when paired with a pilot or any of our white units, lets us pick off an enemy unit by making it lose 2 AP for the turn. That's how we take and keep board control, drain the resources, and eventually close the game. To get to that position, we load the deck with more blockers. Zord gives great early stabilization, a 3-2 for just 2 with the downside of not being able to swing at the opponent. However, since we're not trying to push in the early game, this hardly matters. Gundam the Frith is a fantastic inclusion. A 2-4 for 2 is great stats, especially when we compare it to Striker Pack, which we have to wait an additional turn to essentially get the same unit. Perfect Strike Gundam sits in the sweet spot between early and late game. Against token strategy, it just wipes them clean because they don't bounce back. And when opponents try to value block, it often looks like they're winning the exchange, but we're the ones clearing the board and keeping tempo. AO Strike Gundam remains one of the top cards in the game. A 4-4 with bounce is ridiculous. Its Link pilot, Kira Yamato, further tilts trades in our favor by reducing enemy AP, letting our blockers become even more punishing. Because the deck is so packed with defensive bodies, Archangel is a staple. It lets us poke for chip damage or deal with awkward threats while still keeping a presence. It's a kind of flexible answer that keeps opponents on their toes. Overflowing Affection isn't straight up card advantage. You're paying a card to draw 2 and discard 1. But it's exceptional filtering. It lets us dig for what we need depending on how the game is shaping up, and that consistency is huge for a control deck. We're splashing blue for a couple of key cards. A Show of Resolve is basically our divination, our Pot of Greed, it's our draw 2 of the game. It's expensive resource-wise and can stall development if played too early, but late game when you need multiple pieces lined up, it's absolutely worth dedicating 3 resources to it. We also have the Gundam Amuro Ray package. It's mostly about Amuro Ray. Resting an opponent's unit is incredibly powerful. You can lock something down, swing into it to remove it, or just open a path to close the game. Gundam itself still pulls weight, trading into small threats, and recovering the damage can swing a slow attrition of war in our favor. And the +1 AP to all our units when paired is also a nice added bonus. Rounding out the list, Razel is just a unit with great stats for its cost. Inkshot's ping can matter in weird mid-game spots, finishing off low health threats. And White Base is our value sink. It gives extra utility and something reliable to spend resources on when we need to continue developing our board. And that's the pure Freedom Blocker stack. A wall of threats, filters to dig deeper, control pieces to lock the opponents out, and Freedom Gundam as the high-end finisher that makes everything stick. If you like playing the long game and smothering opponents under well-timed trades and tempo denial, this deck is perfect for you. Next up is the Unicorn version. So what's different here? Basically, we're including the Unicorn package to give the deck a more aggressive edge in what is otherwise a slow and steady control shell. Unicorn Gundam Destroy Mode is your burst of tempo. On attack, you pick an enemy unit to rest it, kind of like a Amuro Ray. It opens up windows to pressure through shields or shut down a threat that could clear units on our side. Important to note, since the attack has already been declared, your opponent can immediately pivot and use that rested unit to block. Then there's Benniger links. When linked to either of the Unicorn Gundams, you get even more card draw, and that +2/+2 buff turns even the smallest bodies in the deck into credible threats. It makes the control deck stop feeling passive and start feeling proactive. We also run Unicorn mode, so if things trade off and you've already lost some tempo, you can drop Destroy mode for free, fully healed and upgraded. Say you've exchanged a couple of units, now you essentially recover it into a beefier version without paying the cost, and that swing can be backbreaking. And we also get back Benniger links to link our Destroy mode to swing again. And here's a sample decklist so you can see how all of that fits together. Now let's look at the aerial version. This is the even more control version of Freedom Blockers. Instead of leaning into raw aggression, it doubles down on flexibility and resource recursion. The star here is Gundam Aerial Rebuild. When paired, it can pull a command card back from the trash, things like Overflowing Affection, a Show of Resolve, or even cantrips like Unforeseen Incident. That recursion lets you keep digging for answers, reshaping both your turn and reacting on theirs. Even if your opponents know you're bringing something back, every attack becomes a potential pivot point. Backing that up is Seleta Mercury as a Link pilot. Her effect that sets a resource active whenever the paired unit swings ensures you've got the fuel to follow up with those command plays. And here's a simple decklist to show how that package slotting in changes the decision space. Personally, I think the Unicorn version is probably the strongest right now. It gives you more late game leverage, aggressive tempo swings while still keeping the control backbone intact with all the blockers, your board controls, and the ability to punish opponents when they overcommit. What do you all think of Freedom Blockers? Which deck do you see rising to challenge it in the next few weeks? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you next time.